right, guys, thanks for joining us again here on the Ride Along. Today, we are talking with Mr. John Bolton in the third of a three-part series, unintentional three-part series about PEX plumbing. And this is going to really kind of put a bow, tie a little bow on the conversation. But we appreciate
Maybe.
everybody that's chimed in on this. I mean, this is something that has been getting all kinds of interest, Matt.
Yeah. I mean, it's a hot topic. And I think that, everyone has a bunch of opinions. And to be honest with you, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I have learned quite a bit from people commenting on it and chiming in on it and other people's opinions. So, I mean, I think that's what this is all about. We should keep going.
No, I definitely agree. But John, thanks for jumping on. This whole thing kicked off when you and I talked, I think, at Inspection Fuel last year about PEX plumbing, man. And people have some very strong opinions on this.
Man, you are not kidding. It's like you guys, here's where I come from. I learned something and I brought it to people and I said, "Hey, brothers and sisters, inspectors all over the place. This is some stuff I learned and you might want to look at it." And every time I do, man, the attacks are just brutal sometimes. And yeah, you're all laughing because you've all heard them. And some of them are just rank, extremely unprofessional. And I'm like, this doesn't
So
make any sense. I'm just
that
trying to tell you something.
that is the
Go ahead.
internet, though. I mean, there you can't put an opinion out there without somebody giving some ridiculous, uneducated opinion on it. Look, the fact of the matter is, we can have a difference of opinion, and I think that that is good. I encourage differences of opinions, and for us to talk about this kind of things and see other sides of it, but without like somebody just kind of coming out uneducated and just throwing a whole bunch of nonsense at us. But that happens. I deal with that
It
on a
does.
regular basis.
No, it does. But before we get into sharing opinions here one more time, again, we want to hear
Yeah,
y'all's. We want to hear y'all's. Keep it respectful,
of
y'all.
course, of
Seriously. I
course.
mean, we're all here to help each other. And honestly, the position of this show is to be as helpful as possible to home inspectors in this industry that want to be successful. Okay. There's all kinds of drama online. We've actually taken some flack for not getting involved in it. We won't. I'm just going to tell y'all right now, we don't, right? We're here to be as helpful as possible to as many people as possible. So, but we're going to kick it off real quick with the drink of the day because, John, I got you hooked on something, man. And you're welcome. That's all I'm going to say. What are you sipping on?
You did. And, I've got to send you that video.
You do, man.
I don't know if Matt knows the story, but
I don't know the
we're
story.
you don't know the story? Okay. So
I
we're
don't
doing
know.
the fireside chat thing. And I know I listen to the show, right? So I called Brad and I said, "Hey, dude, what's your drink? What's your favorite drink?" Because he was going to come over here to my place and I wanted to be the hostess with the mostest, right? And he says, "An old fashioned." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll figure it out." I've never had one before ever in my life. So I literally go to ABC Liquor and I go, "I have a friend coming over. His favorite is old fashions. How do I make them?" And he goes, "Well, do you know?" And I go, "No, I know nothing." He says, "Okay, you need this, and you need this." I said, "Done." And it brought home the stuff. And that was the drink of the day on that episode. Brad showing John how to make this old fashioned. And like all of a sudden he had me hooked, I've been making them ever since. And that's what I'm drinking today is a really nice old fashioned, but with a twist. This is one with maple syrup. That is just chef's
Hey,
kiss. Awesome.
I've got no problem with that. I like adding a little bit of sweetness, obviously, whenever I make a cocktail, usually, and an old fashioned definitely calls for that. I think maple syrup is a really good addition. So
It
cheers to
is.
that.
What you got, Matt?
Oh, well, me, see, I'm on location right now. I am in Grapevine, Texas right now. I'm out of town. I'm not in my stomping ground. So I've got minimal supplies with me, right? And so today, I have just Wild Turkey 101 in a cup. Neat.
There
Cheers.
you go. But we're going to toast to what you are going to be doing there.
That's true. So yeah, I'm in town because tomorrow I am speaking from 4 to 6 at Oak Highlands Brewery at the BS and Beer 2-year anniversary of the DFW chapter. And I want to explain BS and beer and what that is because that can sound like something it's not. And I don't think there's enough people that understand that like the BS in BS and beer, stands for building science. The reason why they have this BS and beer meetup, and there's different chapters all throughout the US and even in Canada, they meet up to discuss building practices, building science, and just network together a community of people that like to learn, very smart people that like to teach, and just like to share, what they do and what we can do to build better. And so yeah, building science, the building science community, they have chapters all throughout the US, like I say, and in Canada. So find one of your local chapters. I encourage inspectors to become a part of this because as inspectors, we can learn a ton about what's going on inside the walls that may be causing the problems that we're finding during our inspections.
I love it, man. That's fantastic. And congrats to you. Let me know how
Excellent.
the topic goes. We're going to wait to talk about it on the next episode.
Excellent.
Yeah,
And if
definitely.
anybody is in the DFW area tomorrow, that is the 21st of July, 4 to 6, I'll be speaking at the Oak Highlands Brewery. You're all welcome. It's anybody can come. So come on out.
Fantastic, man. Dude, I'm looking forward to it. Well, I'm just
Actually, I
sitting
guess
here.
it'll be today because this is going to come out
Right. Yeah.
tomorrow, which will be
Recording it
today.
Sunday.
This
Yeah.
is happening today. Today,
Yeah. Go,
Monday.
guys. Show up. So,
What are you
4
drinking,
to
Brad?
6, man. So I am sitting here in Florida, and if y'all see me dabbing here, like I'm a full gospel preacher, I'm saying, just getting going a little bit, the
Can I
Holy
get an
Spirit's just
amen?
moving. It's only because my AC's been out for 3 days, and the part magically doesn't come in until tomorrow. Isn't it amazing how contractors suddenly the part just shows up on Monday? I
That's how it
Yeah,
be.
I bet it was there today, if I was being honest, but I don't know.
Oh, you don't want to pay for that part though.
You don't want to pay for that part.
You
So
don't want
yeah,
to pay
so
for that Sunday part. That Sunday part's a lot more expensive.
that's it. But I need this a bit extra then because of that. I talked about this in the last episode. It's a rum old fashioned, which I think, John, being as we are Floridians over here, it fits Florida culture. I love bourbon.
Definitely.
That's definitely a heart of the country spirit. But when I showed up in Florida and I was looking at the bourbon and whiskey selections and scotches, I'm like, it is dwarfed by the rum selection down here. We're in the Caribbean, man, and
Yeah.
we're in the tropics. So rum old fashioned, it's on the sweet side. If you don't like sweeter cocktails, it might not be for you. But I think it adds a really different experience to it. Super super approachable and very dangerous because they go
I have
down
had
quickly.
a tequila old fashioned. I've
Oh,
had a tequila
yeah,
old fashioned before. Yeah, yeah.
Huh.
So I can see where like that pivot in alcohol, and it does make a big difference what spirit you choose. Um,
it does.
Especially, I mean, within bourbons even, but I mean, like if you go
Sure.
from tequila to a rum, yeah, I can see that being a really big difference and make a really interesting cocktail. I'm looking forward to trying it.
Yeah, man. Tequila old fashions just get me in trouble. And then I express opinions that people don't like. And then it turns into fights, which
Hey,
we're,
let's let's do that,
Speaking of
let's
except the
do
fighting
that. Yeah.
part.
Maybe that's what
Yeah,
happens online when you see these inspectors that get into keyboard
it's
war fights with
tequila
each
old
other.
fashioned.
They're all
Yeah,
drinking tequila old fashions. Y'all need to stop it. Okay. We're here
yeah,
to
that's right.
elevate the
That's right.
dialogue, not
That's right.
lower it to the lowest common
That's right.
denominator. But
Let's give
anyway,
some opinions.
let's give some opinions. John, we have been talking about PEX plumbing. And we had a guest on, Eric Awney, last time, master plumber up in Minnesota, and I feel like regionally that affects different people's preference in materials, right? His was a preference of a hybrid kind of approach to using copper and PEX. He wasn't as opposed to it. Down here in Florida, water chemistry is so different. Water table and soil content are so different. So again, you have a bit more of caution towards it, and you sent us some really really insightful stuff that kind of supports the position that you made previously when we talked about this on the show, and that this is not a foolproof material.
Yeah, that's true. And the funny part was, and I completely respect your master plumber guy. He does what a lot of us can't do, and I total respect. Okay, so I don't mean anything ill towards him whatsoever. And I do realize that there may be some regional differences. In matter of fact, I was talking with Ruben Saltzman one time, and he's in the same Minnesota area, right?
Yep.
And he consulted his plumber on this because we were having the same conversations. And his plumber was telling him he doesn't have some of these issues. And some of that makes sense. Okay. There is a long list of issues with PEX. And actually, let me back up 1 second and say, listen, I am not here to fight. I'm here to inform. Okay, I'm not supporting one manufacturer, or one brand, one type of plumbing, copper, CPVC, PVC, anything like that. None of it matters to me. All I want to do is say, hey guys, listen, there's something going on here, and you need to look. Okay, but to the regional thing, one of the issues with PEX is fungal growth. Yes, it's fungal growth inside the piping. And you can find plenty of this stuff online. That's how I found it.
Mhm.
Okay. I didn't invent any of this stuff. I read about it and I saw and I listened to the plumbers and stuff that are going through it. And I've seen the pictures. Matter of fact, we did a PEX discussion not too long ago, and I had Jonathan Simon and Gabe, last names escape me right now. They were from FlowGuard Gold, the manufacturer. Now they know their competitors better than all of us put together, right? So they could talk about, and they were there to talk about technical stuff, chemical stuff, anything like that. He has memorized a lot of these issues, and it could memorize dates and all that, which are irrelevant, really, to me, to us. The fact is, they're there, but in some of those areas, like Minnesota, you don't have the fungal growth issue as much as you do in Florida, where we are.
Right.
And I have
That makes
pictures. I
sense.
can show you multiple pictures of the stuff, the nasty stuff growing inside these pipes. Okay, UV gets through plastic. It doesn't get through something like copper.
Mhm.
Okay, now, and if your temperatures are not as conducive in Minnesota as they are in Florida, well, then maybe you won't experience that as
Sure.
much there. So, okay, all that makes sense. However, there's so many other things on the list. And I bet you most people sitting here listening going, what are you talking about? Fungal growth. Yes, fungal growth, mold inside pipes. I have seen it. Again, I can show you the pictures, but I don't want you to believe me. I want you to go prove it to yourself and find it online. You will find it. It's readily available information.
I wonder, does the same issue happen in PVC, or is it more impermeable to light in both
Yeah, it
CPVC
seems
and
like it
PVC?
wouldn't be specific to a pipe. It seems like
Yeah,
it would be
no,
more water chemistry based than anything.
they don't have the UV penetration, and there's something else in chemically, and that's where Jonathan Simon can answer that exact question scientifically, where they don't have that issue at all with
Hmm.
We'll
CPVC,
have
but
to
it's a
have a part
chemical thing.
four with.
Yeah, well, this is turning into a part four, but I'm here for it, man.
We're,
Well, I've seen that,
Jonathan,
like,
are you listening?
yeah, I've seen that chemical permeability is another issue with PEX as well.
I mean,
Uh,
that's huge. Chemical
But I
permeability.
mean, but I mean, that's an issue with copper too. I mean, maybe to a lesser degree sometimes, but I mean, like the whole Thunder Bay situation is all about, you know, a chemical issue that happened with the water that failed copper fittings.
Okay.
So I mean, like,
Again,
you know,
I'm not here to support and defend
yeah, I
anybody,
know.
but the chemical permeation is a huge issue. Okay, way back in the day, California um, uh, contracted a lab and stuff to do these studies, and they were able to measure. So these are guys with lab coats and powerful microscopes and all this stuff. They can measure chemicals down to the parts per billion. Okay, and they were measuring all these chemicals that you can't even pronounce. It doesn't make any difference. I can name them, but some of them anyway, but
Yeah,
it doesn't make any difference. They measured them to the parts per billion. And what was allowed by California code at the time and what they were measuring was was like 10 times the amount allowed. Some of the chemicals come out of the pipe, some of the chemicals come through the pipe. In Florida, we don't have to worry about freezing, so some of our pipes are outside. So you'll have the
right.
pipe go underground, come up, and then go into the house. That exposed part, then all of a sudden you get the yard guy and he's spraying for bugs and ants and weeds and whatever else. They prove those chemicals can leach through. This is an EIR study, environmental impact report. And very, very interesting thing about this environmental report, they have all these stats, right? And where they measure all this stuff. And then one day, poof, it's gone. And you're
Like the Epstein files? No, I'm sorry. Maybe we
something
edit
like
that part
that.
out.
Yeah, right. All of a
Cut.
sudden they're gone. And it's been replaced with another EIR. So if you're going online looking for this EIR report, the one you're going to find says it's all rainbows and unicorns. There's nothing wrong. You're going, wait a second. Somebody in lab coat just measured it and told me.
Well, it's a
I
big
had,
issue here because we, in so many of the properties around here, sprinkler systems and irrigation systems use reclaimed water. That's that's not fully treated.
maybe that could contribute to the fungus amogus on the interior.
Right.
I
Right.
don't
I
know.
mean, if it's in the soil, I mean, it's getting through to the pipe. Yeah. I mean, that's a possibility.
But the
But I
big
don't
one,
think they're
John, that I
using PEX. I don't think they're using PEX for irrigation. I think they're using PERT and straight up polyethylene.
Yeah, but if your pipe is coming in, if your water is getting fed in, I mean, what's that getting fed in with from the city?
if that's coming city, if it's coming from
Yeah,
copper from the city or yeah, something else.
It's not
yeah. I
copper.
don't know. It could be. But I've got a picture I can show you where you can actually visually see. Okay, because I know a lot of people are visual learners, as am I. You can see when they print the information on the pipe and it has all kinds of where it was made and age and all
Yeah.
that stuff. You can watch that ink go through the plastic to the water. You can see it. I'll show you the picture. So chemical permeation is absolutely huge.
Sure. But the big
Uh,
thing too, John, that this is honestly number one that stood out to me when you wrote in, kind of in response to the last episode. I can't remember if it was said that there were no PEX lawsuits in the last 10 years or not, but you gave evidence of the fact that there are several that are still underway. But these go back as far as 2013, and then there's been one every year since 2021.
let me I can't wait to address that. Let me say one thing real quick because I want somebody that attacked me big time on the chemical permeation thing says, oh, you just get a water treatment system. So I go, maybe instead of attacking him, I said, maybe there's something to this. I don't know. I am not this chemical water expert. I don't claim to be. So I looked into it. And what I found was there is no system that is going to completely eliminate all the stuff out of the water. And if you got something that was really close, it would be more expensive than just replumbing. So
Right.
Yeah.
so it
I mean,
doesn't
it's
make any
reverse
sense, right?
osmosis, I think, does that. But I mean, like, you don't want reverse osmosis for your entire house. That's
It
the
it
reason why people don't do that.
it will never nothing does 100% gets rid of 100% of the
RO
chemicals in
doesn't?
the water. That's from what I have read. Okay.
Hmm. I
And
thought RO
again,
did. I mean, I don't have any facts on that. I just thought RO
yeah, me
did
neither.
that.
So, but as far as the lawsuits, what I sent you specifically was the last 10 years because the master plumber said, oh, well, we haven't really had any problems in the last 10 years. That's not true. It's just patently untrue. These lawsuits have been happening for a very, very long time. So what I sent you was just the ones in the last 10 years. But did
Yeah.
you guys know that every major PEX manufacturer has had a minimum of one class action lawsuit?
That's fascinating. And I want to be fair here because I can't say that there have been, but I'm sure that previously, used materials have as well, from CPVC to galvanized to copper. So if you know of
Oh,
any, let's have a fair discussion. Drop them in the chat. But John's not wrong, and I can read these off to you here. So go ahead,
But I
Matt.
mean, I just want to emphasize that. And I mean, not all of them, but I
mhm.
think this conversation, at least where this conversation and kind of where we took it with Eric, was the comparison of polybutylene to PEX
Mhm.
piping. And there's two things I want to mention here. And one is, I mean, at least most of the class action lawsuits in the last 10 years on PEX, not all of them, but a good chunk of them have been in relation to fittings, mostly to brass. And then which I mean is understandable. I mean, not acceptable, but understandable. I mean, but I mean the comparison of PB to PEX, we're talking about $1 billion versus like 3/4 of a million. I mean, that's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of lawsuits.
There's
But I just don't think that it really. I don't think we can compare the two
I
because it's just.
absolutely. PEX is a polyolefin based plastic. Guess what else is a polyolefin based plastic?
PB.
Yeah, I get
All right,
that,
good
but I
one.
think it's. I think we are talking about two different systems altogether. I mean, the amount of lawsuits and the amount of money paid out for PB is exponentially larger than
Again,
anything that has happened in
again,
the entire life of
no, no, that
and they've been around about the same period of I mean different periods but the same amount of years,
Let
right?
me read these
PV
off to
was
you real
like
quick. Let me read these off to you real quick, Matt. So these
go
are the
ahead.
ones that John sent in. So 2013, there was a case filed. It was Cole versus
Over 10 years ago,
NIBCOA.
but
Yeah, 2013. Well, we'll get to the rest. That was the core allegation was that PEX tubing, brass fittings, so you got it there, and stainless clamps oxidize and dezincify and leak. In 2021, only 4 years ago, 4 years ago, this is Braswell versus Bow Plumbing Group. You had White Bow PEX tubing oxidizes and fails. That paid out 8 million, August 29th, 2024. Then 2023 it was Carico versus Aponer, oxidative degeneration of Aponer PEX pipe. Court denied the motion to dismiss, and the discovery is still underway as of March of 2025. And then I missed this one here. 2021 again, Matt Store versus Aponer. So Aponer again brought up here. Pipe cracking was another issue with that one. Australia had one in 2024 that was hot water PEX lines were rupturing. And then 2025 here, this was McCoy versus Aponer again. So you hear that name keep coming up. Microcracks and oxidation in red, white, and blue Aquapex piping. The biggest one that was paid out and this one is still ongoing. And this is coming back to once again desincifying fittings. There's a fund of 125 million for it with final payments issued this month. So those, John, those are the ones just that you sent in there.
those are just in the last 10 years. And then I sent you like four of them that are ongoing where they're still doing there's a whole law process and I don't understand it. It's all I can
yeah.
explain is it's in the process. But in 2011, it was the lawsuit against Uponor was categorized by
Upanor, okay,
the
that's how you pronounce it.
construction.
Sorry, man.
Yeah,
Upanor, yeah.
categorized by the Construction Defect Center as possibly the largest defective plumbing recall in U.S. history. That's just that one. Okay. Uh, However, I don't care. It really doesn't matter. The point is, there's issues with this PEX. So why would you ignore all this stuff? To me, that's like ignoring the cracks in the foundation and then being surprised if the house falls down. It doesn't make any
Well,
sense. Let's look
to
into this, right? Instead of ignoring it, honest to God, I think if you ignore it, that's professional negligence.
well, but I mean, like, is there? We have issues with other pipes too. Like, what do you think the solution is? I think that's really where, like, we have to pivot. Like, if 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 PEX has all these problems, then what's the solution?
I don't know. I am not sitting here to try to say
Yeah.
this is the solution. That's not my job. My job
Well,
is to
I
go,
just
hey, guys and gals, you need to look into this.
It's not
Okay.
foolproof, is what you're saying.
Yeah. So you can sit here and make arguments a little. Anyway, you can sit here and make the arguments. It doesn't make any
yeah.
difference. There are issues with PECs. And I think everybody needs to have some type of disclosure statement, whatever you are comfortable with. I don't care if you use ours or not. It doesn't. You don't hurt my feelings, and you don't get to me when you insult me. I'm too old to give a crap. Okay, so it doesn't matter to me. I want you to go discover, and I want you to come up with some kind of disclosure. Is that fair?
I don't
It's
know.
that makes sense. I get where you're
I
coming
mean,
from.
it makes sense, but I just, the one thing that I mean, look, I'm not saying that your findings and your opinions are not based in facts, or at least things that you have read. But I mean, I don't. I would have to do my own research before I considered any type of
Good,
disclaimer because I don't want to be a fear monger, and I
good.
really think that, like, I, there are an awful lot of people buying houses
Yep.
with PEX. And there are an awful lot of houses being repiped with PEX. And if we throw some type of strong disclaimer out there, I mean, look, it's not, I put a disclaimer about Federal Pacific Electric. I don't think we're in the same category, personally.
Oh, I think it's worse because there's more.
I see, I don't.
There's
I
more
don't.
of
I don't have any. I don't think I can
it.
back that up. I don't
Now,
feel like I could back that up.
I think we're
That's
looking at
big
a
words.
question of where's the line, at what point we call it out, right?
Yeah.
'Cause that's our thing as inspectors. It's like when do you call it out? Where do you call it out? We call out polybutylene because it was banned, right, as a
Right.
material. So, do you
Same
call
with
it out
FPE.
in
It's not
advance
banned.
of
You
that,
can
or
use
do
it.
you call it out after it's no longer an approved material?
Listen, we have gone through this with so many other things, and everybody made the same exact arguments with FPE, with polybutylene, with Bulldog, with
Sure.
Zinsco, with whatever. Okay, they make the same exact arguments, and then time will tell, and then all of a sudden you prove it. I've lived through the whole polybutylene thing. I've been doing inspections since '98. All right, I lived through that whole thing where we're starting to learn about poly. You're going, holy cow, are you kidding? But it's so everybody's using it. We all use the same argument. Everybody's using it, and it's so awesome, and it does all these things and saves so much time, and etc. And it did nothing but get worse and worse and worse. Right? Answer me this: in Florida specifically, insurance is a huge deal, and it's recently Citizens has added PEX specifically to their form. If there were no issues with PEX, we would not be seeing this on the insurance forms. And I have had for years and years ago, people still calling the office going, hey, I'm getting canceled. My insurance is getting canceled because I have PEX, or they're giving me so much time before I have to replumb. Why didn't you tell me this? Oh, we have had disclosures for a long time. Now, again,
But
come up
that's
with
not
your
our
own
job.
disclosure. Hold on, Matt. Come up with your own disclosure, even if it's something as simple as some systems have had issues. I recommend you look into this yourself. Something simple that Matt feels comfortable with. Is
Yeah.
that fair?
But I mean, like, determining insurability, at least in Texas, isn't our job. So I mean, like, I don't really
It's very much our
see
job
that
in
the
Florida.
Is it
Okay, but again, I'm not here to argue that
is it?
point. It's yes, but I'm not here to argue the
I didn't
point.
know that.
It's insurance. Dude, you can
Well,
get
I mean,
denied insurance for debris in your
insurance
gutter.
is huge. Yeah, no, I get that. Like, insurance is huge. That's a big deal to a homeowner. But determining insurability, at least by Texas standards, that isn't what we do.
Understood.
And so, that wouldn't be. I mean, I know that you guys do have some different inspections that are related specifically to insurance that we don't do here. Wind myths and
Understood. But
whatnot.
my point
Uh,
is that you have a major insurer that has recognized there's issues with it, and they don't want to pay the claims. That's what it boils down to, is the money. They don't want to pay the claims. Okay, so I'm telling you, it is PEX is an issue, and there's a lot of them. You have the chemical permeation, you have the oxidation, the chlorination degradation, the fungal growth. There's so many things. And speaking of chlorination degradation, 98% of the United States treats their water, sanitizes their water with some form of chlorine. Okay, if you're lucky enough to be in that 2%, God bless you. That's fantastic. But 98% of municipalities sanitize their water with some type of chlorine, chloramines, chlorine dioxide, and the chlorine dioxide has now PEX has come out and says, oh, if you are using chlorine dioxide to sanitize your water, don't use our product. It's in there. They typed it, not me. Okay. And the number of facilities that are changing from other chlorine type of sanitization stuff to this chlorine dioxide is growing huge, very, very large numbers. So even if today you're not in that category where they're using the chlorine dioxide, you might be tomorrow, next week, next year.
So
And
maybe a comp here, guys, would be almost like that, Matt. I don't know if they have this in Texas. I encountered it plenty up in Virginia and DC, but like Atlas Chalet shingle, where it was made to look like architectural shingle, but it fell apart in no time. And now I can't speak to a ban being in place on it. Maybe after a while there was, but it was something that I called out anytime that I found it, just because it was known to have issues, even though I found instances of its use. So maybe this is something that we're looking at where it's kind of going the route. We haven't quite reached a polybutylene ban on PEX,
Right.
but it might, be something where it's like there's known defects just as there were with Atlas Chalet shingles. Is
Let
that
me ask you
something?
this: can the product get better over time?
I guess it would depend
Well,
on the chemical makeup, wouldn't it?
I
Nothing gets
mean,
better over time. Nothing,
well, I mean,
right?
I mean, it
Oh,
can
I
be
thought you meant like for
manufactured
for
to
new
do.
iterations.
I'm sorry, you meant what?
The I think he's saying like we learn things about the pipe and we correct things about the pipe, and then I think it can be manufactured better over time, possibly, or installed better over time. I mean, if leaching is a problem, you can sleeve it. There are practices that could help
Matter of
reduce
fact, that's what
things that are happening.
California called for back in the original EIR. They said, okay, if you're going to use it, then you have to sleeve it. And it was codified for a while, and then the plastic industry, whatever, fought back, and California ran out of money. Go figure, right? And so that kind of died out. But okay, if you can solve a problem, or maybe the fungal growth problem, maybe you can solve some of those issues
Yeah.
with that. You still have others. So again, my point is, guys, there's a long list of issues here, and you need to
Well,
look into them and
so,
come up with your
but
disclosure.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would be like me disclosing builders that have known issues with their builds.
You just do that on
I don't.
TikTok. That's it.
Yeah, I don't actually, but I mean, like, but no, I mean, like some people do, right? But I mean, like, I, I, I feel like that's what it's like, and I think it's a lot of the things are region specific, uh, um, fitting specific, installation specific, and so I just wonder as inspectors. I mean, look, I want to provide my clients with the best possible inspection money can buy. But I mean, I could freak them out literally about almost everything about their home. And I mean, a lot of things, I think come down to what someone can afford. There's a lot of things to factor in. I mean, if someone's buying a house from the 70s and it's got galvanized pipe in it, they are bound to have. I mean, it is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when they are going to have catastrophic problems of some sort. And so they need to consider repiping. A standard 2,500 square foot house, you're looking at $6,000 to $12,000 to put PEX in. You're looking at $15,000 to $30,000 to put copper in. Like, I don't know. And then there's a factor of, at least here, like in 2021, we're kind of like Florida. We don't freeze, but in 2021, we froze, right? A lot of people want to act like that's a really big deal, and it was for us at the time, but it was like a 500-year situation, and we're not going to change our entire building practices based on this one event. But what pipe held up during that time? PEX. Everything else, especially copper, busted. A lot of catastrophic flooding situations happened in homes that had metal pipes. I mean, some PVC too, but galvanized, obviously, which is a problem. I don't even want to include that in there because it's such a problematic anyway. But copper had a lot of problems, and PEX had a few, but not really. And so I just think
Understood.
there's
And
so many things to factor in.
listen, and a lot of this degradation is from the inside out. Okay, so you're looking
Sure.
at it and it looks
Well,
fine. The exact same defense that somebody with a Zinsco panel goes, well, look, it's been there for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, John. We've never had an issue with it. You might, and you might not know it. You can't see it. So when you look at these things under a microscope, some of them you don't even need the microscope. You can see radial cracks. I can show you numerous images of the cracks, and maybe you can't see it from the surface. And when is it going to reach that crack? Going to reach from the center to the surface? When's it going to reach that? Tomorrow? Next week? Next month? Next year? Who knows? The point is, you said you want to provide the best possible product. Then it's your responsibility to look into this and read about it, get educated on it, and come up with some type of disclosure, because I don't want to see Matt get sued over something that only took you a sentence to
but
say, hey,
but
listen,
but
I've done some research and there are some issues associated with this. Here's some websites, or here's some additional things for you to look into, because it's not our job to tell people to buy, not buy, anything else like that.
It's just to educate. Is what you're saying.
Educate.
I mean, I get that, but I mean, like, I think that, like, as inspectors, like, I don't think I don't know. It's hard for me to say that this disclaimer is protecting us from any type of lawsuit. I mean, it isn't. We're responsible for telling what kind of pipe the house has, but I don't. I mean, I don't see how it's. I mean, it's covering us for sure to have some type of. I could see that, but I mean, I don't know at what cost. I mean, there's like a 90% chance, no matter what house somebody buys out here, they're buying it with PEX. And so I don't see where we're liable.
It's almost, I mean, Matt, it almost sounds like you're kind of, again, this is not to discredit, what John has been saying and the evidence that he's been presenting, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
almost like,
we're just
where do you
talking.
make the line on disclaimers? Because I could, in Florida, go look
Yeah,
at a 20 to 25-year shingle, and we know in Florida, John, that that thing's going to last maybe 15 tops,
it's
because
the same
we
here.
cook through shingles. Yeah, we cook through
Yeah,
shingles, right?
yeah,
So
it's
if
same
you
here.
don't, so if somebody assumes because the homeowner told them when they bought it, oh yeah, that's a 30-year shingle, and then they find out 5 years in, wait, it was 10 years old and now I have to replace it. Well, my home inspector should have told me. I mean, do you make a note? Hey, we live in Florida. Maybe consider getting metal or concrete tile or anything that's not asphalt shingle, or what do you say? I mean, where do you draw a line on that?
You know what's interesting? As I've researched some of this stuff, I've gone into plumber forums to see what they have to say about it.
Mhm.
And I will tell you
Sure.
what plumbers have to say about it. 50% of them love it, 50% of them hate it. Okay.
Yeah,
So ask your plumber and whatever, you're going to get an opinion. But look at the evidence. Look at all these settled cases. Look at all this stuff. You cannot ignore it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
You know when chlorine degradation starts? This is a thought I've meant to finish before. Immediately after I did this presentation at our state association one time, and I had all kinds of people upset. Go figure, right? And but this one young lady, Megan Keith, her niche is 11 month. She lives in an area where everything's new, and that's her niche, 11-month inspections. And she's like,
yeah.
"Oh my God, this is what I'm seeing now." She understands it, and again, I can show you numerous images of chlorine degradation, what it looks like, and you need to know what to look for. That popcorning and that yellowing of the pipe, that's chlorine degradation or chlorination degradation, whatever you want to call that.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
Where are you seeing the pipe?
we see the pipe all over the place in the garage, in the
How?
attic, because it's
See,
all
I
exposed.
mean, there's very little pipe exposed, and usually almost none, unless it's always covered with insulation or pipe insulation. Where
If you can't see it, does it make it untrue? Of course
I'm
not.
not saying that. I'm just
Okay.
asking how you're seeing it.
The good thing is I can see it and I can show you the pictures. The pipes eventually turn yellow. They start what they call popcorning and you get in yellow spots. That is
Okay.
chlorination degradation, which occurs on the interior. And you see, first of all, PEX is inherently incompatible with chlorine treated water, which is where I was going with the 98% of the country is using
Yeah.
that. So they have to add antioxidants to it so it doesn't break down as fast. Well, all of these things accelerate that process. Heat, your master plumber mentioned heat, the exposure, obviously, to chlorine, those kind of things, it just accelerate it. So if you had it, if you kept it away from heat, will that prolong it? Yeah, maybe. Okay, but again, it does not make any difference. There are these issues exist, and I'm not making them up. You can read them for yourself. I'll be happy to provide resources for you to read yourself. So it's everybody's obligation as a home inspector, if our job is to provide some clarification of something so somebody can make an informed decision.
Yeah.
That's
It,
all I'm asking.
that seems to be what you're getting at right there. It's just educating about what information is available. So,
Right, right. You know what? I was mentioning to you earlier. This everybody is aware that the old 410A refrigerants going out, and the what was it 454B or and some
Yeah.
32 and something.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's whatever. This new refrigerant is coming out. It's codified. It's all over the country. And what if I sat here and told you, "Holy cow! Did you see all the fires that are happening because of this refrigerant?" And all of a sudden, the systems are combusting. Would you sit there and say, "Yeah, but wait a minute, they're installing them all over the United States, so I'm going to ignore everything you're telling me"? Well, that would be
Uh,
ignorant, right? Now, hold
well, I
on,
mean,
right? I'm right. You would
I
have to
don't think
go,
that's what I'm
wow,
saying.
well, let me look into this. Let me read these news stories. Let me read this and find out, is this a regional thing? What would your obligation would be to educate yourself and find out about it, is my point.
Yeah, I
I
see
don't
what you're
think
saying.
that's what I'm saying. I don't think that's the point I'm trying to make. I'm trying to figure out how to articulate it. But like, if someone is going to buy a house, okay, all right, like if you want to talk about the refrigerant, I mean, like, if someone's going to buy a house within a certain time frame, it's going to have that. I mean, if someone's going to buy a house right now, whether it's new or in the last 5 or 6 years, it's almost 100% going to have PEX in it. And so, I
Okay.
mean,
So that doesn't
I
make
could,
PEX
I could,
better.
I could, I'm not
That
saying it
argument doesn't make
does.
PEX better.
I'm not saying it does, but does it make me a better inspector to tell them, hey, this product is probably going to fail on you at some point,
Isn't that
and
your
to tell
job?
them that?
Isn't that
I
all
mean,
of our
is it?
job?
I mean,
They are
I don't know.
making they're making
That's
decisions based on
speculation,
information, and all we're doing is
but
providing information.
that's speculation. We don't know if any of that's going to
It's
happen.
not speculation. That's false. It's not speculation. Read it.
No,
Lawsuit
but
after
no, you've
lawsuit
read
after
about
lawsuit,
specific.
years and years and years, more than the 10 years that we were talking about. It's proven. The scientists have proven all this stuff with their fancy magnifying glasses and all this stuff. It's all proven. The
So,
chemical permeation, UV degradation, chlorination degradation, oxidation, the fungal growth. It goes on and on and on.
I
I
don't know, man. I don't know.
it's let's kick it to the audience here because I think this is a great place because again you guys have been sounding off on this for the past 6 months on 2 episodes. This is now the third we're doing on it, so we want to hear respectfully, we want to hear y'all's opinion as an inspector. Are you guys calling this out? Do you have a disclaimer? What are you saying in that disclaimer? And again, let's open this up. uh, is this something that's specific to PEX alone, or are you guys aware of any lawsuits that have applied to CPVC and PVC or any materials before that? I mean, where do we draw the line as inspectors on what we call out, what we don't, what disclaimers we use, and basically what we go through and approve of or alert buyers to? Drop it in the comments. Please share this with other inspectors so we can get them to buy in on this as well, because I want this to be a community-wide discussion, and we welcome y'all's opinions here for sure.
Yeah, and please make it a discussion. Okay, don't sit here and say, "Well, it's installed
For sure.
everywhere, therefore." Okay, that's not an argument. You know what I'm saying?
Again, I don't want it to be that's not the argument that I'm making. I just think that, like, you say this, and I mean, so I freaked them out, and now what are they going to do? If you
What's the
if you put
solution for them, basically? Yeah.
if you put some scary disclaimer in your report about this, what are they going to do?
Okay, well then don't. Then don't do that.
No, 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 no. I'm
I'm just
just
saying there are
we are
ramifications
just
for
discussing
ignoring
this.
it. When I was going through a lot of these forums and stuff, reading about it, because again, I didn't come up with this opinion.
I know you
Everybody else,
didn't.
the facts did, the lawsuits did. I'm finding all kinds of uh, complaints from consumers. My inspector didn't tell me, and they're making social media posts. I can't get insurance because the inspector missed it. You can find those two. I did not making this up. I'll let you read them. So,
But
hey, it is what it is. There's
did the
ramifications of
inspector miss it?
ignoring it.
But
Huh?
did the inspector miss it?
It doesn't matter.
It does. It matters a
It
great
doesn't
deal to the
matter. If the
inspector.
consumer is mad and they're making social media posts about it, it doesn't matter whether you're right or wrong. They are going to
It
make a social
100%
media post.
matters.
So
No, it
maybe
matters. Our job has limitations.
what if you
It is
okay, but
very
here's a
clear.
solution middle of the road here, guys. What if you just the same way that we have a life expectancy, or at least in my reports, I put a life expectancy on appliances and materials, right? Roof, kitchen
Sure.
appliances, heating and cooling, water heaters.
Yeah.
I put
Yeah.
life expectancies. When it comes to plumbing, can we say for a fact, hey, you might be good with this for 20 to 30 years. It's rated for a 50-year life expectancy, but there are known issues that could cause the life expectancy to be shortened. Just you need to be aware.
What if you said
I
life
mean, I suppose
expectancy
so.
may vary?
That could work.
Yeah.
I don't care
Yeah.
what you say. I just want to protect you. That's
Now
all.
we're, but that's where we're getting at. Like what I think Matt was driving home at
Yeah.
is what can we do with this information that helps the buyer? I think that's what he was really getting at. So, I mean, I feel like that's a good solution right there, where you can give a life expectancy or simply say that it varies due to known conditions that may be affected by your water. Have a water test done to uh, clarify quality in your area. I mean, you could, because again, that goes beyond the scope of the inspection there, but that's something that you could do if you really, really want to know the nuts and bolts of your home. Is what kind of effect is the water quality having on the piping in your home? It could be completely different. I mean, we're talking,
And
John, we're talking in Florida, in a place where, water is treated with chlorine, but is this going to apply on a private well system that's mineral rich and fairly clean, you know?
That's funny you mention that because that's a great question. I don't have the technical answer to it, but in one of these forums, a guy, and I use this in my presentation. I've got a 2-hour presentation on PEX, all of these facts, and I show you the pictures, the lawsuits. You read it for yourself. But one of the guys that responds and goes, "I'm having all these problems, the leaks, et cetera, et cetera. I'm on a well."
Hmm.
Some of these leaks are coming from mechanical stresses. That's another one of the weak points. When you start, bragging and show how you can bend this stuff, you're causing uh, your
But
that's the
sure,
impetus of the
that could
crack
go
that's
valve.
back to,
installation.
yeah, or it can even go back to a pressure reducing valve that's oversized for the capacity of the home or for the pipe. So, because that again, if it's over pressurizing the pipe, that's going to cause failures no matter what material you're using.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
I
don't
mean,
recall
failures can
any
happen.
pressure issues with PEX, that being part of the defect. It's all been and we've talked a lot about the pipe because that's where people are saying, well, it's only the fittings, it's only dezincification in the brass fittings causing occlusion and et cetera, et cetera. It's not just the fittings. And back in God 10, 15 years ago, whatever it was, when everybody was learning about dezincification, what is that? Well, now all of a sudden we learned, and it was the F1807 QPEX issues. Then there was a lawsuit after that that said for all the other bright brass fittings. So it's not just the F1807s, it's all the other ones. Settled lawsuits done. So again, it's not fittings, it's fittings and pipes. And some of these lawsuits even include the stainless steel ones. One of the manufacturers, I forget right now, off the top of my head, stopped manufacturing those stainless steel fittings because of failures. I can't go on and on and on. My point is, guys and gals, read for yourself, come up with a disclosure that you are comfortable with, because I don't want to get you sued. If you do, well, that's your own. If you choose to ignore, if you choose to not say anything, you might get away with it, but you might not.
Now, John, we appreciate it seriously, man. This has been a ton of information, and again,
For
you know,
real.
it's very helpful, very educational, and we want to kick it back to the comments. Guys, sign. Let me try this again. Sound off in the comments on your take on this. What you've read and researched yourself. Does it verify everything that John's saying? Have you seen what he's saying? And if you're using disclaimers, what are you saying? How are you wording it? And
I
if I
want to
was,
say,
yeah, go ahead.
I want to say something. I mean, like, regardless of the fact that we may have some difference of opinions, or whether or not I choose to disclose this, or how I choose to disclose this, or how you choose to disclose this, I have learned some things from you today, and I appreciate your commentary. I appreciate your take on everything. I appreciate you being on here, and I like that we can have these types of discussions. Even if friction occurs, we learn something from that friction, and I do intend to be the very best inspector I can be. And whether or not it's a consideration of something like a disclosure like this, and everyone else out there, whether you choose to do this, or like Brad was saying earlier, some type of life expectancy, these types of conversations, we have to have these so that we can be the best we can be. I'm fortunate to be a part of this conversation. I thank both of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I got an idea. I got a great idea.
Let's
What
do
if
it.
you had some kind of contest and use Chat
Oh.
GPT if you want. See who can come up with the best disclosure.
Best disclosure. Come up with the best disclosure. Yeah. Hey, post them in the comments. Seriously. And look, you
There
guys
you
can
go.
go in and like it, right? One with the most likes, dude, we'll send a gift card. We'll send some TRA swag, something, man. That'd be pretty cool. Because we got some TRA swag that we're rolling out here at some point too.
Everybody wants a T-shirt, right?
Yeah, man.
Free
Definitely.
stuff.
A
Yeah.
ride along
Sure.
T-shirt.
Well, here's what's funny, guys. Look, when we jumped on, we were like, hey, let's just make this. It's a Sunday. We're recording. We all want to get and enjoy the rest of our weekends. But we're like, this is just going to be a short one. No, we're at 50 minutes now. Like,
Yeah,
this has been
it's just
good.
how it happens.
That's it, man. That's it. Get a little drink involved. We get talking shop, and here we are in almost an hour. So, John, thank you for being here, man. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Enjoy your Monday. If you're listening to this, go check out Matt's presentation. If you're it's Dallas,
Yes.
right, Matt?
That's right.
Yep.
DFW. Actually, Richardson is the specific location.
Go check that out, 4 to 6. And otherwise, we'll see you right here next time on
The ride along.